What's up guys, gals and pals, it's Raddy here, and in today's video, I know I'm a little bit late with this one, but I'm going to be going through my top 10, well technically 11 actually, but let's call it top 10, it looks better, top 10 models for 2020. So without further ado, let's look at the models I chose. Alright, so coming in at number 10, we're going to be looking at Baroness Gahurey, who is the Arkhan for my Drukhari force, a small Dark Eldar force that I painted in the start of the year. This was kind of my proof of concept model for the whole force. I did a battalion, I did two HQs, and I actually did 30 cable lights, so that would be enough for even 2 battalions, but nonetheless. So my idea was to kind of make these really grimdark 40k pirates with like replaced limbs and lots of gore, lots of body parts, like the hand and the skin cloak, which of course the Arkhan model already comes with. It was quite a simple kit bash. It's mostly the unmade box that I used in addition to, or I think everything is actually from the unmade box, in addition to the bits that come with the Arkhan itself. But it's effective, it looks nice, I'm really pleased with it. And it's actually a force that I'm going to definitely expand later on this year. And I think my vision has changed a little bit, but not too much to still be really pleased with this as well. So that's my number 10. Next, we could go to my number 9 model that I chose. And these, again, still no Space Wolves. This is why I said that it would be 11 models, so cheating a little bit. But these 2 models I painted for our wedding with my lovely wife, and we used them as cake toppers, and now they're a nice piece of memorabilia from the wedding itself. We married last summer, and it was fun seeing all the guests look in awe about at how similar they look to us, especially if they weren't too familiar with my hobby. And we've got our cats there, of course, as well, in the on the minis. These are from Hero Forge. They are 3D printed minis. Basically it's meant for like RPG characters. I've also ordered some of those before, but yeah, thought to order 2 characters resembling us for our wedding. Then number 8 would be the next one, and I think for number 8 we are going to go with, let's choose this one for number 8. So if you've been viewing the channel already, you'll be familiar with this Nova Marine. Let me adjust the lights a little bit. So you'll be familiar with him already. He's the first mini I painted from start to finish on camera as kind of a test for whether I can do that or not. And worked out all right. I'm really pleased with it. All the pauldron iconography is free-handed. I painted the face on camera. It was out of focus though, but nonetheless. And yeah, it's really nice. I'm really happy with the Marine Kit Bash Roulette video concepts. I'm excited to start doing more of those soon again. with maybe some small changes, but nonetheless. So yeah, this is my Nova Marine Sergeant. It was a religious zealot. If you'd like to try out the Marine kit bash roulette, I'll put a link up there somewhere for you to click on it, but watch this video first. Of course. But yeah, that's my number 8. Then coming in at number 7, I think we'll choose this Space Marine here. This is a converted version of Sgt Joven, which was the store anniversary model in 2019, I think. Or was it 2020? No, it must have been 2019 if I painted it in 2020. Yeah, it was. Time feels weird for some reason. Yeah, this was the first Space Wolf I painted in the style that I now paint my Space Wolves in. I really tried to push myself to paint every single part of this model as well as I could. I originally intended to have it be just a one-off display model, but then ended up painting a whole Crusade force to pretty much the same level. Not maybe quite as neatly, but pretty close. Of course, I've gotten quicker with that as well since then. This also won the painting competition for. It was an online competition, of course, but it was for this Finnish convention for role-playing stuff, tabletop stuff. So I was really happy with that. So I've been taking models there for a few years now, and despite being online, this was now the first year I managed to have a prize, and it was the top model in that competition. So yes, he's the sergeant for my Intercessors. Then what number do we have next? Is it 6 already? Yes. So coming in at number 6. No, would this be 5 already? Oh, I messed up my... No, it's 6. So this little... What are these even called? I'm blanking on the name now. Come on. Well, I'll put it somewhere there. This was a painting event we had in our local store. You could get one model for AOS and one for 40k. And you basically had to paint the models up nicely. You could convert them a little bit. I didn't do much. I did a nice base for it, and that's about it. And I used this model to practice my NMM. I don't do much of non-metallic metal on my models generally, but this one gave me a chance to practice that a little bit more. Followed Squidmar's guide for the blade, because I wanted to try that Sky Earth non-metallic metal there. And that's pretty much it. I was really happy with the model. Came first in the painting competition. It won me the Catachan Colonel model. So that went nicely as well. It was painted over a day or two, this model. So yeah, that's my number 6. Then moving on to number 5. I think for number 5 we're going to choose Gorm. So Gorm is a wolf priest. He is also a character some of you might be familiar with from the chaps at Tabletop Tactics. I painted a Space Wolf Terminator for their Deathwatch force in the summer, and then when I was thinking about doing my Crusade force, I thought who else could lead a crusade against some Necron Xenos filth than an ex-Deathwatch veteran, so I decided to make an older version of him that has returned from the Deathwatch and is now leading my personal crusade force as well. Some background of the character: it was a role-playing character that I played for Wrath and Glory for over a year. It was a Bloodclaw and he advanced to a Grey Hunter, and when the campaign ended he was sent to Deathwatch, so that's why I decided to send the Deathwatch model to Tabletop Tactics, and they've been continuing his saga there, which I've been really happy to follow. But yeah, this is a Wolf Priest. This was the first model for my Crusade force, so again I tried to maybe even a bit more new stuff than on the Sergeant that I showed earlier. The OSL I'm really happy with. It was all hand painted, no airbrush, just including the power weapon. It was all hand painted with a hairy brush, as some people tend to say. But a really cool model, been a total beast in our Crusade campaign so far. So that is my number 5. Then number 4, I think we're going to continue with my Crusade force. I was contemplating whether I was more happy with this or Gorm. Could have maybe switched them around. But yeah, this is my Rune Priest, Sveleher, and the Frbus Librarian. And I'm really pleased with how the idea I had worked out with this one, with the Spirit's Wolf. It really, I think, adds some dynamism to the pose. Everything's kind of flowing in the same direction, and it's got a lot of movement to it. And it looks like he's summoning the wolf, or actively keeping it there. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this one. Didn't quite finish it in time to have it for the first part of our Crusade campaign. I had him there, but without the wolf, and he wasn't completely finished. But now he's ready, and I can't wait to field him again. He also proved to be really crucial to my force. So that's my number 4. Then moving on to my top 3 models. And for number 3, we're looking at this big boy here. Let's make sure it's in focus. There we go. So this is my Primaris Impulsor. And it's a big chunky tank with lots of freehand that I did. It's the All Slayer. I'm not a fan of painting vehicles in general. Everything is magnetized, by the way. All these come off. This one here, the heavy stubber, also can be removed from there. It's not magnetized, but it can easily come off. And Ragnar comes off as well. Now you might be, why is he a little bit stuck? There we go. I've yet to make an how would you say it? Another bit here in case I don't want Ragnar to be in the Impulsor. It's a bit tricky to put back in. There we go. But yeah, this was the transport that I painted for Ragnar specifically. It ended up being a bit silly because, for example, in my Crusade force, I don't have Ragnar, but I need an Impulsor. So I have this anyway there, and I don't have anything else to plop here. So we joke around that Ragnar is the driver for my Impulsor, and that's all he's there to do. The freehand I'm really happy with, particularly this one, Svangir. I had this concept that since Ragnar's wolf, spoiler alert, wolves died in the Saga of the Beast, that I would paint them on as a kind of a tribute on his personal impulsor. The back here also, really happy with all the details. I think managed to give it a nice sense of some life with the helmet there and the shield on the door and all the radars and stuff. So yeah, I'm really pleased. Wolf gear here looks a little bit derpy compared to Svan gear, but good enough. So that's my number 3. Let's put that back on. It's a shame that impulsors are not quite as useful anymore, or quite as good as they were in 8th, but it was alright in the start. We played small games, so it didn't really get to shine that much. Number 2, the man, the myth, the legend, Ragnar. So you already saw one version of him there. Let's make sure he's in focus again. There we go. And here's another version. This one is obviously my Ragnar on foot. I got this idea of him leaping off another dude's storm shield immediately when I saw the pose, and I just had to try it. It's a bit fiddly. There's lots of plastic glue there in that one tiny piece of contact. It hasn't broken yet, but yeah, it's a little bit fiddly. But it works fine. As I said, not maybe the most optimal for line of sight and that sort of stuff, but still good. Tiny freehand there on the power fist. And what else? No, it's just a glorious model. Was really happy to paint it and to finally see a new Ragnar model, and I'm really pleased with how it came out in the end. So yeah, that's my number 2. And you might have already guessed it if you watched the part with all of my models from last year. But my obvious number 1 is going to be... Oh, it's stuck. Number 1 is going to be my Resin Beast entry. Can I? No, I can't. Well, we'll have to look at him up close. I'll put a better view of him on the video as well. So yeah, this won the 2nd prize in Resin Beast online for Resin Beast 2020. Obviously they couldn't have the in-person version this year, so I was happy to be able to participate. Normally it would be in Adepticon and I don't have access to that. This is the King of Ecstasy by Creature Caster, and it was easily the biggest model I've ever painted. If you compare it even to like a Gorm here, it's freaking huge. This while it looks really cool in the end, I must say it nearly killed my motivation to paint anything for a while. I almost gave up on it during painting, but I ended up finishing it anyway, a bit in a hurry though. The brown areas I'm not super happy with. I did those in a bit of a hurry. All the armor and the trim took a ton of time, but I'm really pleased with it. It's now been varnished, so it doesn't look quite as shiny and nice as it did before, but yeah, it's all true metallics. Some people thought it's non-metallic, but no, it's all true metallics, but just painted similarly to how you'd paint non-metallics, which gives the sort of illusion when you look at it. For example, I think it's best visible maybe on the blade there, especially there if you look at it. The freehand I was really happy with. It's a piece by Ian Miller that I tried to adapt to work on this shield. I thought it matched nicely with all the faces that we have here on the model, and Ian Miller himself liked it on Instagram, so I'll take that as a great success. Definitely a little fanboy moment there. The gore is all done with Uhu glue, UHU. I actually have it here, this stuff. And yeah, really happy with this model. Can't wait to paint some more creature caster stuff. They're big projects, but they look absolutely stunning when finished. The base also I'm really happy with, got some nice tonal variation there. It looks like some kind of a gladiatorial arena, but with some sculptures on the floor as well. So that's it for my top models of 2020. I really enjoyed doing this kind of a retrospective video. Hopefully there was some useful insights in there for you as well. And who knows, maybe we will be able to create something even more glorious than this huge model. It's the size of my head, nearly. And I have a big head. Next year, or this year in 2021. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, feed the algorithm so that more people can discover these videos, hopefully find some use in them. And I'll thank you for your continued support, and we'll see you in the next video. Raddi out.